Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? Hopefully, you are in best condition. Let me introduce myself. I am Ahmad Nur Holis or Holis. You can call me Holis. And then, as a master of ceremony, and over there is Mrs. Dani Sri Pramudia Wardani as a moderator that guide you in this event. Actually, this is a collaborative event between Universitas Peradaban and President Ramon Magsaysay State University. Then we call it PRMSU. This event entitled Strengthening High Order Thinking Skills through Project-Based Learning by Local Wisdom Base. First of all, without exceeding respect to other beliefs, let me say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim to start this event. Then let we give thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because of His bless and mercy. We can come here with healthy condition in this guest lecture event. Second, let us greet and pray to our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who had brought us to the path of light and left the darkness in his life. In this event, there are some speakers and invited guests. The first is the Honorable President of PRMSU, Dr. Roy Villalobos, and the Honorable Rector of Peradaban University, Dr. Muhammad Kadarisman Esa, MSI, as well as the Vice Rector, the Honorable Dean College of Teacher Education of PRMSU, Dr. Zenpi Anmasa Linau, the Honorable Dean of Teacher and Education Faculty of Peradaban University, Mrs. Eka Farida Fasya, MPD, the Honorable Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel as the Speaker 1, and then the Honorable Dr. Winarto, MPD as the Speaker 2. And the honorable invited guests that can be mentioned one by one. Ladies and gentlemen, let us sing Indonesian national anthem and make sure please sit up straight and make sure your microphone is off. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. For the first speaker, now we invite Dr. Zenpi Anmasa Linau as the Dean College of Teacher Education of PRMSU. to give a welcome speech. To Dr. Zenfi and Machadi now, the floor is yours.
Salamat pagi. Magandang umaga from the Philippines. Apa kabar?
Magandang umaga. Selamat pagi, Ibu. Good morning.
Good morning. To the Honorable President of President Ramon Magsaysay State University, Dr. Roy N. Villalobos. To the Rector of Universitas Peradaban, Dr. Mu Kadarisman. Faculty of the Primsu College of Teacher Education, the Teaching and Education Faculty of Universitas Peradaban, our distinguished resource speakers who will be formally introduced later, other guests, staff, and students. In behalf of President Ramon Magsaysay State University, welcome to today's webinar with a truly enlightening theme, strengthening high-order thinking skills, HOTS, through project-based learning by local wisdom-based. It's great to see you here today. I'm excited to be a part of this webinar with an important topic that can help us understand how to develop critical thinking skills in students. We are thrilled to have you all here as we embark on a journey to explore innovative educational strategies that harmonize higher order thinking skills with the profound wisdom of local traditions. This promises to be a transformative experience. We are joined by esteemed panel of speakers who will share their experiences and knowledge on how project-based learning can be used to empower students with higher order thinking skills. They will also discuss how local wisdom-based approaches can be integrated into project-based learning to make it more effective. Project-based learning is an effective way to engage students in real-world problem solving and critical thinking. It allows students to apply their knowledge and skills in a meaningful way, while also developing important life skills such as collaboration, communication, and creativity. This emphasizes the integration of critical thinking and problem-solving skills with the rich knowledge and traditions rooted in local culture. This approach not only enhances the students' intellectual abilities, but also instills a deep appreciation for the heritage of their communities. It's a powerful blend of modern education and timeless wisdom. In addition, local wisdom-based projects are those that incorporate local knowledge, culture, and traditions. Local wisdom-based project-based learning can help students connect with their community and culture. By incorporating local wisdom into projects, students can learn about their heritage and develop a deeper understanding of their community. This can help them become more engaged citizens and contribute positively to the society. Implementing local wisdom-based projects can be challenging. Challenge that we can encounter may include lack of awareness. One of the main challenges about local wisdom and its importance. Many people may not be aware of the value of local knowledge and traditions, which can make it difficult to incorporate them into projects. Another challenge we may encounter is resistance to change. Some people may be resistant to incorporating local wisdom into projects because they are used to doing things a certain way. In addition, the lack of resources can also be a challenge in implementing such. Language barrier can also likewise be a challenge when implementing local wisdom-based projects. And lastly, cultural differences. It can also pose a challenge when implementing local wisdom-based projects because of different cultures may have different values, beliefs, and practices that need to be taken into consideration. But despite these challenges, implementing local wisdom-based projects can be highly rewarding and beneficial for communities and individuals alike. I hope that this webinar will provide you with valuable insights into how to develop higher order thinking skills to project-based learning by local wisdom-based. And let's take this opportunity to learn from our experts and explore new ways of enhancing higher order thinking skills among our students. Thank you for joining us today. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Zenvi and Masalina for the speech. And the next speech is from Dr. Roy Villalobos as the President of President Ramon Magsaysay State University. To Dr. Roy Villalobos, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. To the officials, faculty, and the students of the President Ramon Magsaysay State University and Universitas Peradaban, Salamat Hari Kepada Semua. Good day to all. We, from President Ramon Magsaysay State University, are so glad to co-host this webinar titled Strengthening High Order Thinking Skills, HOTS or HOTS, through project-based learning, PBL, by local wisdom-based or LWB. I would like to thank our partner university, Universitas Peradaban in Indonesia, headed by its rector, Dr. Mu Kadarisman, for partnering with us in hosting this very timely virtual event. The importance of high order thinking skills or HOTS or HOTS cannot be overstated. In a rapidly changing world, it is crucial for educators and students alike to develop these skills to succeed in this 21st century society. Today, we will explore how project-based learning, enriched by local wisdom, can be a powerful tool to achieve this goal. I am happy that one of our faculty whose research interest is in local wisdom will be sharing with all of us today the use of such an approach in cultivating HOTS or HOTS. These skills involve critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, and innovation. They help us make sense of complex situations and make informed decisions. HOTS is not just about memorizing facts. It is about understanding, analyzing, and applying knowledge in meaningful ways. Project-based learning, or PBL, is an approach that allows students to engage in real-world problems and projects. Meanwhile, local wisdom refers to the knowledge, skills, and practices that have been developed over generations within a particular community or culture. Our able speakers will delve into these topics later on. In the Philippines, we have rich and diverse local wisdom. The use of local wisdom in project-based learning not only enhances the educational experience, but also strengthens the connection between students and their cultural roots. It's an opportunity for us to learn from our past and apply that knowledge to the challenges of the present and future. I encourage everyone to learn about this approach in today's webinar. As educators, incorporate PBL Enrich with local wisdom into your teaching methods. Challenge your students to think critically, solve problems, and be creative in their approach. To our participating students, be open to this learning experience and immerse yourselves in the projects that connect to your local wisdom. Our webinar today will be a great avenue to learn about the importance of strengthening HOTS or HOTS through PBL enriched by local wisdom. By integrating local wisdom into our educational practices, we not only enhance the quality of education, but also preserve our cultural heritage and identity. Together, we can empower our students to become critical thinkers, innovative problem solvers, and most importantly, proud bearers of our local wisdom, both in the Philippines and in Indonesia. Terima kasih banyak dan semoga Tuhan memberkati. Thank you very much and God bless. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay Universitas Peradaban. Mabuhay PRMSU.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Roy Villalobos for the speech. And the last speech and opening this main event is from Dr. Muhammad Karisman SH MSI as a Rector of Peradaban University. And please to Dr. Kadarisman, the floor is yours. Pak Kadarisman, mohon untuk speakernya nyalakan.
I'm sorry. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning and welcome to our beloved campus, Universitas Peradaban. Welcome on behalf of Dean of College of Teacher Education, Dr. Yenvi An Makaliano, President Ramon Magsaysay State University, Dr. Roy, thank you. Dear Dr. Daryl James R. Angel, President Ramon Magsaysay State University, Speaker 1, Honorable Dr. Winarto, MPD from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Speaker 2, Vice Rector 1, Rector 2, and Rector 3, and Universitas Peradaban, Dean of the Universitas Peradaban, especially the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, Mrs. Eka Farida Fasa, MPD, Head of Institution at Universitas Peradaban, Head of Study Program, especially in the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. Our event is the time is live webinar Ghost Lecture 2023 Teaching and Education Faculty of Universitas Peradaban with the topic strengthening high order thinking skill through project based learning by local wisdom base. in this era of industry 40, student must have his thinking skill, which is better known as higher of thinking skill. Higher order thinking skill are critical, logical, reflective, metacognitive, and creative thinking skill to be able to solve the problem encountered. According to define, higher order thinking skill is a high-level way of thinking that involve critical and creative thinking pattern guided by ideas of truth, each of which have meaning. In training student reasoning, a good learning model is needed. For example, project-based learning. Project-based learning is a learning model that has been integrated with higher order thinking skill. Project-based learning involves a learning model that involves project assessment as a learning method in it. The student will be raised in making it this project task so that it will produce this. There are as real of possible. Believe that project-based learning in an innovative learning model through its process reach of and collaboration in problem solving for manufacturing based product knowledge. Therefore, this learning product model is considered very suitable for training higher order thinking skill student. Higher order thinking skill include three elements, namely analytical skill, evaluative, and creative. In this era of Industry 4.0, students must have high thinking skill, which is better known as higher order thinking skill. Higher order thinking skill are critical, logical, reflective, metacognitive, and creative. Thinking skill to be solve the problem encouraged according to define higher order thinking skill in high level way of thinking that involve critical and creative thinking, better guided by idea of truth, each of which has meaning. In training student reasoning, a good learning model and needed. For example, project-based learning. Project-based learning is a learning model that has been integrated with higher order thinking skill. Project-based learning is from a learning model that involves project assessment as a learning method. In it, the student will be serious believe that project-based learning as an innovative learning model through process research and collaboration in problem solving for manufacturing-based product knowledge. Therefore, this learning model is considered very sustainable for training higher order thinking skill student. Higher order thinking skill include 3 elements, namely analytical skill, evaluative, and creative. In this era of Industry 4.0, students must have high thinking skill, which is better known as higher order thinking skill. HOTS are critical, logical, reflective, metacognitive, and creative thinking skill to be able to solve the problem and create it. According to define higher order thinking skill as a higher level way of thinking that involve critical and creative thinking pattern guided by idea of truth, each of which has meaning. In training student reasoning, a good learning model is needed. For example, project-based learning. Project-based learning is a learning model that has been integrated with higher order thinking skill. Hand of dependent model order thinking skill is triggered by 4 conditions. 1, a certain learning situation that requires specific learning strategic and cannot be used in other learning situation. 2, intelligence is not longer. She has ability that cannot be changed, but rather a unity of knowledge that is influenced by various factors consisting in the learning environment, strategic and awareness in learning. According to several experts, Resnick definition of higher order thinking skill is a complex thinking, progress in describing material, making conclusion, building representation, analyzing, and building good relationship involving the most basic mental activities. This skill also used to outline various high-level process according to Bloom taxonomy. Ladies and gentlemen, higher order thinking skill which in common parlance or known as higher order thinking skill are triggered by 4 conditions. 1, a particular learning institution that require a specific learning strategy and cannot be used in other learning situations. Intelligence is no longer seen as an ability that cannot be changed. Rather, it is a unity of knowledge that is influenced by various factors that comprise it from the unity knowledge that influenced by various factors. 3, understanding the view that see from undimensional, linear, hierarchical, and spiral toward understanding multidimensional and interactive view. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what we can convey on the occasion of this online webinar. We at Peradaban Universitas Peradaban University as the organizer of this event. If there are only shortcoming from the initial welcome at Peradaban University, until the end of the event, we would like to express our deepest apologies. Thank you and happy webinar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you to Dr. Kadarisman for the speech and the opening. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next event will be guided by the moderator. Mrs. Dani, the floor is yours, please. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
I will deliver the CV first, curriculum vitae. Okay, the name of the moderator is Sri Pramudia, and you can call her Budani. The address is in Bumi Sari Ayu, Kalierang Bumi Ayu. Place and date of the born is Semarang, 30 July in 1983. She is a lecturer in PBI Program Study and FKIP Peradaban University. His education is S1 language literature English program in Universitas Diponegoro, and then the bachelor degree or S2 English language program in Universitas
Kalau mau belinya berapa?
State University. That's the curriculum vitae of Sri Pramudia Bardani, and the floor is yours, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hollis, as our Master of Ceremony. The Honorable Dr. Roy Villalobos, as the President of PRMSU, President Ramon Magsaysay State University, Philippines, the Honorable Dr. Muhammad Kadarisman as Director of Peradaban University, the Honorable Dr. Zenfi and Makalinau as the Dean of the Teacher and Education Faculty of PRMSU, Philippines, the Honorable Mrs. Eka Farida Fasya as SMPD as the Dean of Teacher and Education Faculty of Peradaban University, the Honorable Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel as our first speaker of this virtual guest lecture event, the Honorable Dr. Winarto as our second speaker of this virtual guest lecture event, and the respectable all lecturers and students as audiences or participants of this lovely virtual guest lecture event. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Devi SR Pramudia Wardani. It's been a great honor for me to be the moderator of this lovely virtual guest lecture event. And this is 2023 event is carried under the title Strengthening High Order Thinking Skills or HOTS through Project-Based Learning or PBL by Local Wisdom Based. This is a kind of cooperation or collaboration between Peradaban University and PRMSU Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, on this very special occasion, we have two great speakers. The first is Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel, and he works at PRMSU Philippines. And our second speaker is Dr. Winarto. He works now at Yogyakarta State University. Ladies and gentlemen, before both speakers deliver for their presentation, I would like to greet the participants or the audiences coming from YouTube and Zoom. The QA or question answer session will be delivered later after the second speaker deliver their presentation. So you can write down your questions on the chat box, or you can interact directly later, after the second speaker deliver his presentation. And then I would like to invite the Honorable Mrs. Felipa Enrico, PhD from PRMSU Philippines. Good morning, Mrs. Faye, from Faye.
Good morning. Am I audible? Do you hear me?
Okay, I would like to invite you to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel. Okay, welcome, Mrs. Faye. Are you ready?
Yes. Good morning. Do you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Good
Faye.
morning.
Faye.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. This is our Filipino greetings. Selamat pagi for our Indonesian. Of course, good morning to everyone. To our University President, Dr. Roy N. Villalobos, to our Rector of the University Paranaban, Dr. Muhammad Kadarisman, the Vice President of the Academic Affairs of the University of Paranaban, and of course to PRMSU, my counterpart in the international office, Dr. Chichi Widuwati, and of course the head and the organizer of this very short notice, head of the committee of the Department of Teacher Training, Dr. Cholis, the officials of President Ramon Magsaysay State University and the University of Paranaban, faculty members, our guests, students who are with us, good morning. First, I would like to commend both the PRMSU and the University of Paranaban for this first international venture. We really have a short notice in the planning, but we carried out. For that, thank you so much, Dr. Cholis. You can now smile. But for the previous days and very fast, Dr. Cholis, and of course, Dr. Chichi. So thank you so much for this wonderful event. So for our first lecturer this morning is a faculty member from the College of Teacher Education of the President Ramon Magsaysay State University. He is a holder of PhD in Language Education and cited the best research in dissertation when he graduated. He also published many researches, both in international and national publications about culture and language. His dissertation goes with the Local Wisdom Project, which serves as, or he came up with a glossary of Fisher Fox language, which we can use now or considered as the Local Wisdom Project. He has been a chairperson of the Bachelor of Secondary Education and tasked to teach major and professional subjects. He also have various researches and also was the former chairperson of the Office of International Linkages, who took charge of our Vietnamese and our American field study students. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the very young, vibrant, and clever professional. We have Dr. Daryl Jim Angel from the College of Teacher Education, our pride, from the President Ramon Magsaysay State University.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Rico, for that introduction. And thank you very much, Universitas Peradaban, for inviting me. Salamat pagi to our University President, Dr. Roy and Villalobos, who are with us right now, and to Director of Universitas Peradaban, Dr. Muhammad Kadarisman. Salamat pagi. And to all the participants who are with us right now, good morning and thank you very much. It's an honor to be part of your webinar this morning. So allow me to present my presentation about the assigned topic for a while. Can you see my presentation already?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Dani, for your response. So the assigned topic to me is about strengthening higher order thinking skills through project-based learning by local wisdom base, or LWB. So since we are all educators here, I believe that we are all educators here, I hope that you have a prior knowledge or schema about the topics that we will discuss this morning. So allow me to discuss to you or to share to you our roadmap or the order of the topics that we will discuss this morning. So like what I've stated earlier, our topic is about the understanding the higher order thinking skills, or HOTS. So that's the first topic that we will discuss to be able for us to understand how are we going to develop the higher order thinking skills to our students. We will understand also the project-based learning or the task that we will employ or that we might use or that we will use inside the classroom to be able for our students to gain higher order thinking skills. And after that, we will also be discussing the local wisdom base. And those topics that is listed on my presentation was already introduced to you by our guests earlier, or to all the people who have talked to us or delivered messages to us earlier. And for the introduction, okay, just for a while, okay. For our introduction, strengthening higher order thinking skills through project-based learning is rooted in local wisdom, can be powerful and contextually relevant approach to education. Like what they have discussed to us or mentioned to us earlier, that integrating local wisdom base by making project-based learning can be able for our students to develop their higher order thinking skills. And like what I have remembered earlier, they have mentioned to us in the 21st century, we should have to develop higher order thinking skills to our students, not just the shallow part of the mind or knowledge of our students, but most importantly, to deliver or to develop to them the higher order thinking skills. Local wisdom, as mentioned earlier, refers to traditional knowledge and practice that have been developed within a specific community or region over generation. When combined with project-based learning, it can enhance critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity, while also preserving and respecting the cultural heritage of the community. So this topic covers the development or enhancing the higher order thinking skills to our students by making or by strengthening project-based learning with consideration of the local wisdom base or preservation of the cultural heritage of the community. So for our first activity, I have here two pictures. I have here two pictures, and I want you to give me the differences, or you differentiate the first and the second picture so that we can be able to understand what is higher order thinking skills. So anyone from the group? Anyone from the group who can give the differences between the two pictures? You are free to open your microphone or unmute your microphone and tell us what's the difference between the first and the second picture.
Okay.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
audiences, the participants, would you like to answer Dr. Darius' question? What's the difference between those two pictures? PBE students who would like to answer?
You just tell us what's the difference between these two pictures, or what are your observations? What the teacher's doing inside the classroom, like picture number 1 and the picture number 2. Is there a difference?
Please, participant. One of you, please. The audience says.
Okay, someone's raising his or her hand.
Anyone? The participant, please.
I think Ma'am Danny, they are shy.
Okay.
Someone's raising her hand. Ladin Mamaril.
Ladin Maril.
Yeah.
Halo, selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
Pagi.
Based on my observations, the first picture shows that the class is centered on the teacher. So it's like a teacher-centered learning. And the second one is the students are the center of their own learning. It's like they facilitate their own learning. So, terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ladin Mamariello. So like what Ma'am Ladin mentioned a while back, that this picture portrays the teaching versus facilitating. Wherein on the first picture, we can say that the classroom is teacher-centered, wherein the teacher is the giver of the information. So all of the knowledge is coming from the teacher. So that's the focus of the discussion, or the setup of the classroom is more on centered teacher. So it's a traditional way or approach of teaching and learning process wherein the teacher is the giver of the information. While on the other hand, the second picture portrays the learner-centeredness of a classroom. You can see that in the second picture, the teacher is just the facilitator of the learning. And the two students or the two children there is busy discovering their own knowledge. So that's the difference between the two. So I would like to emphasize that to be able for us to understand or to develop higher order thinking skills to our students, we should shift from teacher-centered setup of the classroom to learner-centered setup of the classroom, wherein the students shall in charge or in charge in the development or discovering their own language, their own knowledge. Because on the first picture, it's like a spoon feeding, while on the other hand, on the second picture, they are busy doing or discovering their learners. So that's the essence of being a learner-centered classroom, and that contributes to the development of the higher order thinking skills to our students. Now, the big question is, how to develop higher order thinking skills. Dr. Kadarisman mentioned a while back the Bloom's taxonomy. He had also mentioned to us the Bloom's taxonomy. So this is just a simple guide for us educator and future educator to develop higher order thinking skills to our students. Let's always consider the Bloom's taxonomy, that wherein if we are going to give an activities to our students, we should vent to the higher order thinking skills such as creating, evaluating, and analyzing. Because if we are just focused or we are just focusing on the development of our students, like remembering, understanding, and applying, they are under the lower thinking skills or LUTs po na, we call it LUTs. But if we are going to venture on analyzing, evaluating, and creating, we are teaching them how to develop, or we are teaching them to develop their higher order thinking skills. Like for example, if we are giving tasks that the task is about the analyzation or evaluating or creating, we can help students to be more creative or to develop their higher order thinking skills. Now, to be able for us to enhance their higher order thinking skills, I have here some sample activities that we can employ or that we can use to enhance our students to be able for us also to develop a certain higher order thinking skills to our students so that we are not venturing on the LUTs or yung remembering, understanding, and applying. Like for example, number 1 is brainstorming. Just to inform everyone, this discussion is just a preview or just a review on the topics that you have already learned. Since you are already educator and your course is more on teaching or you are under education, I do believe that you are all aware on these activities. We are just going to reinforce it. Like for example, number 1 is brainstorming. Brainstorming is a classic technique to elicit ideas from students. It's good to involve HOTS for their students to practice, but remember that it depends on the question of the teacher asked. So in brainstorming, we should not only focus on the question that is close to the answer yes or no. If we are just going to focus on the question that is answerable by yes or no, we are not developing higher order thinking skills to our students. But if we are after or instead, we are going to use open-ended questions which can trigger the critical and creativity with step-by-step guidance from the teacher. And by doing this, teachers can help their students to improve, of course, the higher order thinking skills when they have a plan to create, to judge, or to predict and modify their answer. So that's number 1. We can develop higher order thinking skills to our students if we are employing brainstorming inside the classroom. The second one is creating new ending for stories. If you are language teachers, we are usually reading a certain story, or we are reading a story that is related to our topic. Sometimes we are using it as a springboard to our topic. Now, story is fun to way, especially, of course, like what I mentioned earlier, to language teachers. When the students are asked to create a new ending of the story, they develop their creativity, the top level of Bloom's taxonomy. So by employing this, to be able for us to do it, they will have to analyze, of course, the details. If they finish reading the story, of course, they are going to analyze the story, summarize what happens in the story, choose what kind of ending they want to create, and propose their ending. So if we are going to ask the students to create endings of the story, we are developing the creativity of the students. And that is the top level or one of the top level of Bloom's taxonomy. They are going to create their new endings, but before that, of course, they are going to analyze the story, summarize it, understand the situation, and after that, they will create their endings. The third one is debate. Debate is an activity where a pool of HOTS is required for students to accomplish. Before the debate, they have to analyze information, organize, prioritize, and plan to present their ideas. So debate is very common to our class, especially if we have a topic that needs to be analyzed by means of understanding the pros and cons of that activity. So doing debate, they have to argue, of course. They have to evaluate and to predict their opponent's ideas. So that's the debate. That's how the debates runs. Of course, they are going to argue, debate, and evaluate their predictions on the opponent's ideas and summarize their opponent said or the opponent claims. Then after the debate, they have to judge where they did well, if they did well, or they can modify their ideas and develop new plans for the next time. So if we are going to implement debate inside the classroom, we actually develop higher order thinking skills because they are required to evaluate the ideas, evaluate their claims, and counter to rebut on the ideas that the other opponent or that the opponents giving them giving them in terms of the topics that they are assigned or that the topic that is assigned to them. So we can employ this to develop higher order thinking skills also. The second one, of course, is the project. And later on, I will discuss or I will show to you the thing that Ma'am Rico mentioned a while back, that I have conducted research in the integration or with the integration of the local wisdom base, and it is a project, a research project. But we should have to discuss first what's the meaning of the project. Project is similar to debate. Any project requires a lot of HOTS to complete. The students have to organize the roles in the project, discuss, compare, contrast, analyze, then they will argue, debate, then choose the ideas that will be suitable or be used in the project. So like for example, in the final phase, before the presentation will adapt what they use in the project, design and develop, propose the final product. So after they discuss the topics that they have chosen, of course, after this, they will present in the class the topics or the ideas that they have developed and propose a final product. And to be able for us to understand more, I will relate this picture to the succeeding topic that I will discuss to you. So once again, may I ask from the participants to answer this question, or no, I will just read the question and you just observe what's the difference between the two sets of questions. It referred to the picture, the boy riding on a bicycle, the middle of the rain. So the first question is, what do you see in the picture? What is the boy doing? What's the weather like? What do you see in the background? So that's the first set of picture. Will you compare the first set of question to the second set of question? First, why is he riding his bike in the rain? What do you think he's heading? Do you think he has a happy life? If you were him, what would you do? And what would you like to ask him? Again, may I ask from the participants to tell us what's the difference between the two sets of questions?
Hello?
Hello, Ma'am Danny.
I will ask again the participants, the audiences, to answer Dr. Daryl's question. Yeah, as you can see from the picture, what is the boy doing? What's the weather like? Lagi ngapain itu anak kecilnya? Ya,
Or maybe Jake,
terus
they're just going to tell us what's the difference between the sets of questions, first sets of questions, and the second set of question, ma'am. Like,
yeah.
what do you observe on the first set of questions? Like, all the things that we have mentioned earlier, like, for example, the Bloom's taxonomy, like remembering to creating, you just relate it. What do you observe on the first set of question and the second set of question? Is there a difference? Like, for example, if we are going to ask, what do you see in the picture? Is this question is different from why is he riding his bike in the rain? So do you think we are developing HOTS if we are just going to ask them, what do you see in the picture?
So
What
the difference
boy doing?
between those questions, yeah, the former questions and the later questions, the difference among them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Apa bedanya ini grup pertanyaan yang pertama dengan grup pertanyaan yang kedua? Kalau kita bertanya dengan cara seperti yang awal atau yang kedua, adakah perbedaannya? Anda bisa menjawab loh dengan bahasa Indonesia. I will translate. Nanti Bu Dani yang translatekan. Ya. Ada yang berani menjawab? Silahkan. You can raise your hand or you can type your answer. Which one is so much better to your point of view? Which questions? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, maybe they are still evaluating the sets of questions, ma'am.
So it's about the way, Dr. Daryl.
Yeah, okay. It's okay, ma'am, it's okay. So let's continue our discussion. So the difference between the two is that if you are going to observe on the first set of question, we are just teaching our students to remember and to evaluate a certain task that is not developing the higher order thinking skills. Like, for example, if you are going to look in the picture, if you are just going to ask them, what do you see in the picture? They're just going to say, what's in the picture? What is the boy doing? Of course, they are just going to tell what's the boy doing in the picture. They're just going to describe the weather, they're just going to describe the background of the picture, the background in the picture. But if we are going to give questions such as number 1, why is he riding the bike in the rain? You are not just developing the LUTs or lower order thinking skills of our students, but we are letting them to think and go beyond what is given. Like, for example, they are going to analyze why the boy is riding a bike in the middle of the rain. What do you think he's heading? What do you think he has, or do you think he has a happy life? If you were him, what do you do? Or what would you do? Or what would you like to ask him? If we are going to ask those questions, we are developing the higher order thinking skills to our students, because they are not just simply describing the picture, but you are giving or you are getting the insights of the students inside the classroom, or they are going to conclude or create a certain ideas that is more than stated or more than portrayed in pictures. So inside the classroom, we are not just after the developing of lower order thinking skills of our students, but most importantly, we are after the development of the higher order thinking skills. So to be able for us to understand or to develop higher order thinking skills, we as educator, we as a teacher should help them to develop the higher order thinking skills, not just telling them to remember, to understand, and to apply, but most importantly, we are after the analyzation, evaluation, and creating, or like for example, they are going to create their own ideas and describe a certain situation to be able for them to develop their higher order thinking skills. Since we are mentioning project and part of the discussion is through project-based learning, we will also have to discuss the meaning or the topics or activities that is under the project-based learning. Remember that we can employ higher order thinking skills if we have integrated project learning or project-based learning inside the classroom. These topics pertains or this topic falls on the topics or the activities that is really basic that the teacher uses inside the classroom. So we will discuss this kind of project that is very useful inside the classroom. We will not make it complicated or complicated to be able for us to understand what's the project-based learning, and later on we will relate it to higher order thinking skills and project-based or local wisdom-based. First one, of course, project-based is an educational approach that focuses on the students engaging in extended hands-on project to gain a deeper understanding of the subject. This method emphasizes active learning, critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and real world application. So they have mentioned to us earlier that if we are going to employ project-based learning, the focus of this or the goal of this is to extend hand-on projects to gain deeper understanding on the subject. So since we are developing higher order thinking skills to our students, we should employ project-based learning that can enhance their understanding in terms of critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and real-world application. So based on this, I have arrived to some recommended projects that we should have to utilize inside the classroom. And this example of projects covers all the specialization, like for example, it will focus on computer, language, arts, STEM, culture, and other subjects that are related to our learning. The first one is that one-to-one computing project. So what's one-to-one computing projects? This project can help us to have more excellent way to engage students in learning. And this type of project, each student is given a computer to use for the duration of the project. Students, of course, like for example, students use their computers to research, write, and publish their work. This type of project requires students to be more responsible for their own learning and allows them to work at their own pace. Like for example, an example of this is that one-on-one computer or one-to-one computer project would be having our students to create a website. If you are related or if you are teaching computer subjects, we can use it. Like for example, we are going to ask our students to create their own websites where they research a certain topic and develop content and design and layout for their website. So that's one of the project that we should have to employ inside the classroom if you want to develop higher order thinking skills of your students inside the computer subjects. Next one is collaborative classroom project. When we say collaborative classroom projects, it is a great way to encourage students to work together. It is a type of project. Students are divided into groups, and each group is responsible responsible for completing the task or solving a certain problem. This type of project encourages students to communicate and work together to find solution. For instance, have your students work together to create a certain video about a particular topic. So it's about collaborative classroom project. We can employ, for instance, you are going to ask your students to create a certain video, and each group would responsible for researching the topic, writing the script, and filming the video. And after that, they will present it in front of the class. So the topics that they have researched and turned into video can be best example of collaborative classroom projects. Next is research project. This project is very vital to us as an educator because we are mandated to do it. So like for example, here in the Philippines, universities in the Philippines are mandated to conduct as a research. Like for example, one of the fourfold function of the university is research. So all of the faculty members are obliged to conduct a research to be able for us to attain the mission and vision of the university. When we say project or research project, these are project or research projects are excellent way for students to learn about a certain topic. In this type of project, students are given a topic or they are going to select a certain topic, then they use their project or research to write a paper or create a presentation. This type of project allows students to develop the research skills and learn about a variety of topics. Like what I have mentioned earlier, this research is very vital, especially in college students and for us teachers to conduct a research to be able for us to create or to develop higher order thinking skills to our students. And if teachers conduct a certain research, we are contributing to the community. Like for example, here in PRMSU, before we conduct a community extension, we are going to research a certain problem first to address and then followed by the community extension. Of course, for example, another example is that have your students choose a certain topic or current event for a research. Once they have already chosen the topic, they will write a research paper explaining their findings, and alternatively, they could create a presentation and to share it in the class. Later on, I will introduce to you the research that I have conducted when I was studying my PhD at Benguet State University, and I have listed some of the terminologies of fisher folks, and I have made glossary. I published it, or I make it like a booklet and compilation of the terminologies that they are using in fishing or they employ in terms of fishing. Next, we can do STEM projects. If you are under the subjects that falls on the science, technology, engineering, and math, in this type of project, students of course know their knowledge or STEM to solve problem to complete a certain task. This type of project encourages students to think critically and apply their knowledge in the real world situation. Like for example, if they are going to make a certain representation of bridge, so that's under the STEM project. Next is arts project. Of course, basically arts project is an excellent way to encourage students in the arts. In this type of project, students use their creativity to create piece of work or piece of art. This type of project allows the students to express themselves and explore their creativity side. Next is the community service project. Community service projects are the excellent way to encourage or engage students and the community in this type of project. Students work with local organization to complete a service project. So later on, I will discuss to you the integration of the community service project that I have researched. Next, technology project. Basically, technology project is a type of project the students use the technology to compute or complete a certain task or to solve a problem. This type of project allows students to learn about different types of technology and how to use them. Field trips also is one of the project base that we can employ, and student-led conferences also is one of the topics or one of the activities that we can employ inside the classroom to be able for us or to be able for them to organize their student-led conferences. Next, what's the local base? Let's go over to the local wisdom base. So this is the core of our discussion. A local wisdom base is typically referred to a repository of knowledge, practices, and traditional wisdom that are specific to a particular geographic region or community. This concept is often used in the context of sustainable development, cultural preservation, and community empowerment. In addition, local wisdom base is a collection of knowledge, insight, and practices that have been passed down through generation within a specific locality or community. It encompasses traditional customs, ecological knowledge, indigenous technologies, and common-based or community-based solution to various issues. Now, what's the benefit or what are the benefits of local wisdom base? One is the cultural preservation. They have mentioned to us earlier that one of the benefits of local wisdom base is cultural preservation. One of the primary purpose of local wisdom base is to preserve and protect the cultural heritage of a particular community. This includes traditional rituals, art, language, and values that are integral in the identity of the community. The second one is that sustainability. Local wisdom bases often focus on sustainability practice or sustainable practice related to agriculture, natural resources management, and environmental conservation. Many indigenous communities have developed methods for living in harmony with ecosystem for centuries, and these practices are valuable for addressing contemporary environmental challenges. Next, community empowerment. Local wisdom bases empower local communities by organizing the expertise and knowledge that already exists within them. This approach acknowledges that the local people are often best suited to address their own challenges and provide a platform for them to share their insight. Like what I've mentioned earlier, one of the powerful functions of the universities is the community empowerment. So we can use the community project to empower the local wisdom base of our universities. Sharing and documentation. Local wisdom bases may involve the documentation of oral traditions, storytelling, and practices to ensure that they are not lost with time. This documentation can take various forms, such as written records, videos, or digital archives. So later on, I will show to you my dissertation that is part of the local wisdom base and how I integrate it through research projects. Next, interaction with modernity. Local wisdom bases often explore how traditional knowledge can be integrated with modern practices. This intersection can lead to innovative solutions that respect both tradition and progress, and promoting social inclusion. These knowledge repositories may be used to address social issues, including gender equality, human rights, and community well-being. They can help create more inclusive and equitable societies. Next, advocacy and policy. It is used to advocate for policy changes the local, regional, or national level. They can help governments and organizations to understand the importance of respecting and integrating traditional knowledge into broader policies and initiatives. In the region, with the strong local wisdom tradition or tourism may be developed to showcase these practices and generate economic opportunities for local communities. This form of cultural tourism can be sustainable and respectful of environment or the environment. So we can use also local wisdom base to develop HOTS in terms of cultural tourism. Collaborative initiative, of course, it is a collaboration within or with researchers, NGOs, and the government to create comprehensive understanding of the local knowledge and its application. And overall, a local wisdom base serve as a repository of invaluable knowledge, practices, and cultural elements that can be harnessed for betterment of the local communities, the preservation of cultural heritage, and the development of sustainable and equitable societies. It emphasizes the importance of respecting and learning from the wisdom of indigenous and local community. I have here two examples of community or local wisdom base in Indonesia. I think you are familiar with this. Example number one is that the prohibition of utilizing transportation, electricity, chemical products such as toothpaste, shampoo and soap, and etc. that is adopted in Kenakes village as a way to maintain environmental sustainability. So based on the examples that I have presented, they employed local wisdom base in this village wherein they are prohibited or they are not allowed to use transportation, electricity, chemical products such as toothpaste and soap. Second example is that in Pandawa Beach in Bali, Indonesia, they are prohibiting menstruating women from entering the water as they are recognized to be dirty. This is for the reason being that the beach is often used to practice religious rituals and ceremonies, thus considered to be sacred. But there are just some part of the Pandawa Beach, not all or not totally, the whole Pandawa Beach prohibit this. Now, what are the things or what are the steps to utilize local wisdom base? So first is identify local wisdom based resources. Begin with, I am discussing now how to integrate the local wisdom base to the project base and to develop higher order thinking skills. First of all is that identify the local wisdom resources. Begin with identifying the local wisdom resources within the community. This may include traditional practices, stories, ecological knowledge, craft, or unique customs that have been passed down through generations. So to be able for us to implement is, we should have to identify first the local wisdom resources. After we identify the local wisdom resources, we should have to collaborate with local experts. Collaborate with local experts, elders, or the community members who possesses knowledge of the local wisdom base. This individual can reserve or serve as valuable resources and mentors for the project. So after we identify and collaborate with those that I have mentioned earlier, we should have to select our project. Choose project that drawn upon and respect the local wisdom. For example, a project might involve using traditional agriculture methods to address the contemporary environmental challenges or creating art inspired by local stories and motifs. And after we identify project, we should have to employ interdisciplinary approach. embrace an interdisciplinary approach that integrates various subjects, including history, science, culture, and arts into the project. This promotes a holistic understanding of the local wisdom relevance. And after this, of course, we should have to integrate or engage our students in the project. Encourage students to actively encourage with the local wisdom, visit historical sites, speak with local experts, and immerse themselves in cultural context. Since we are after the developing of HOTS to our students, they should have to involve in a certain project. Next is critical reflection. After we incorporate opportunities for critical reflection, discussion, and analysis within the project, encourage the students to think deeply about the historical and cultural significance of the local wisdom and how it can be applied to contemporary challenges. Of course, we should have to present it and share it to the community. And after we present it, or after the project have been implemented, evaluation and assessment takes place. Assess students' learning through combination of traditional methods and authentic assessment that reflect their application of higher order thinking skills and understanding local base. Next, by combining project-based learning with local wisdom, you create a dynamic educational experience that not only strengthen higher order thinking skills, but also instill a sense of cultural identity and heritage. So we are not just after developing higher order thinking skills to our students, but most importantly, while we are developing HOTS to our students, we should have to instill a sense of cultural identity and heritage. It empowers students to appreciate the rich tapestry of their communities, wisdom, and apply it to address contemporary challenges, fostering a strong sense of connection and responsibility to their culture environment. Now, allow me to share, this is my last slide, but allow me to share my research, the research that we are mentioning earlier. This research titled Paglilikom at pagsusuri ng mga terminolohiyang sambaltina sa larang ng pangisda tungo sa pagbuo ng glosaryo. In English, it is a development of glossary of Sambaltina, one of the local languages here in Zambales. I immerse in an island to document the local language or the local terminologies that they are using in fishing, in terms of fishing. So my participants in this research are fisher folks. So I stayed 4 months in an island. The picture that I am presenting to you is the island where I immersed. So the method of my study is qualitative. The design of this is ethnography. I stayed there for almost 3 months to collect terminologies or local terminologies that they are using in terms of fishing. So this is the family that I have stayed in. This is the collection of data. I interview 9 participants. They are all fishermen. And of course, interview is not enough to preserve a certain language. But of course, if you are going to immerse yourself in terms of this or in terms of collection of data, I also joined them in catching fish. We started 5 p.m. and we returned to the island 6 a.m. So almost 12 hours. This is the community presentation of my glossary to validate if there are errors in terms of defining a certain terminologies. And the aim of this, why did I include this in my presentation? Because this is a representation that we can employ or that we can use local wisdom-based in developing a certain higher order thinking skills to our students by doing research. So this is the glossary that I have, or this is the output of my dissertation, a glossary that includes the definition of the terminologies that I have listed from the island. This is the picture of every terminologies. So it represents their culture, it represents their local language, and it is very important to us as a teacher to be engaged in this kind of research, because we are developing higher order thinking skills to our students through project-based learning, but most importantly, we are integrating local wisdom-based, and that's the essence of this research. And that ends my presentation for this morning. I am Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel from President Ramon Magsaysay State University. Thank you, everyone. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Daryl. If you don't mind, could you please share your material later to the committee, Doctor? It was great research as well. You conducted on project-based learning with local wisdom-based. Okay, and then that was really an outstanding presentation delivered by Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question related to Dr. Daryl's presentation, you can type on the chat box and I'll read later at question and answer session after the second speaker. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to fill the attendance list, shared later by the committee. And then now I would like to invite our second speaker, Dr. Winarto. Good morning, Dr. Wayne. Hello, Dr. Wayne. Dr. Winarto, can you hear my voice? Are you there, Dr. Winarto? Dr. Winarto? Good morning, Dr. Winarto.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
I
Good
see.
morning.
Good morning. Selamat pagi, Pak Win. Sugeng Enjing. How are you doing there, Dr. Win?
Not a delicious body. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Not in a
sick,
fit
ma'am.
condition, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before our great second speaker, Dali, for his presentation, I would like to introduce Dr. Winarto first. His name is Dr. Winarto, and he was born in Brebes, 12th of November, 1988. He's still young, and he's now a lecturer of Yogyakarta State University. He graduated from Yogyakarta State University for his bachelor degree in 2012, from Yogyakarta State University for his master degree in 2014, and from Semarang State University for his doctoral degree in 2022. Oh, it's a long curriculum vitae. Yeah, he has conducted so many research, as well as many community services. He also has written many journal articles, as well as become keynote speakers at many seminars. Dr. Winarto has also written many books, and he also has many achievements, as you can read on the slides, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Winarto today is going to deliver an interesting presentation about PBL, project-based learning, local wisdom of Javanese people to improve HOTS, high order thinking skills for students. Well, Dr. Win, are you ready now to deliver your presentation?
Inshallah, I'm ready.
Okay, Pak Win, your time is not more than 50 minutes. Okay, without any further ado, the Honorable Dr. Winarto, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks for time, Honorable Rector, Dean, Head International Relation Office, Head Study Program, Peradaban University, and Honorable Rector, Dean, Head International Relation Office, and Head Study Program from President Ramon Magsaysay University, Philippines. And thank you for your sharing, Dr. Jim, first speakers. Okay, I will present my PPT with the title Project-Based Learning, or PBL, Best Local Wisdom of Javanese people to improve high order thinking for students. Next. Okay, next. Yeah, slideshow, please. Okay. First question from me, please. Anybody know what is PBL? You can write in chat column. Yeah. In English or Indonesian language or ngapak ya. Yes, Mom Dani. Ya, adakah yang tahu apa itu PBL ya untuk siswa di Indonesia? Silakan, dan yang di Filipina silakan. Student from Philippines ya. What is PBL ya? Chat ya. If respond, please. Give answer.
There's still no answer.
Okay, 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 Mom Dan, please play this video.
That's an answer.
Okay,
Win.
PBL is
yeah.
an instructional approach that emphasizes active student. Okay, good answer. Okay, any else?
What is program-based learning?
Project-based learning.
What is project-based learning?
Yeah. Okay, I think now okay, first answer. Please,
Only
operator, yeah, only one, please. No, please play this video from this link. Yeah.
Itu saja ya.
Okay, all.
Jangan lupa analis videonya dan
yeah, you can copy ya, and you share screen ya. Okay. Okay, all student, please you watch this video to get information what is PBL. Yeah, what is PBL?
Mungkin Pak Ari ada masukan?
Yeah, full share screen, please.
Boleh di
Yeah. All participant, please, you can see this video about PBL. Yeah. Teacher give instruction how group do project. Yeah. From this video, student do project make a edge jembatan ya. From
I can't hear the voice, the song. Suaranya nggak kedengeran.
iya, share-nya beserta suaranya harusnya ini.
Volume videonya ya Pak Win.
Iya. Atau ada ini, ada pilihan menu share ya audio kan ada ya.
Tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Kau bisa lumpuhkan tanganku, tapi tidak mimpi-mimpiku. Kau bisa merebut senyumku, tapi sungguh tak akan lama. Kau bisa merobek hatiku, tapi aku tahu.
Halo, selamat berjumpa lagi dengan saya Nur Fitriana, guru SDN Deresan Depo Sleman, Yogyakarta. Nah, kali ini kita akan melihat proses pembelajaran dari kelas 2A tahun ajaran 2018-2019, yang mana mereka pada pagi hari ini sedang belajar tentang STEM Education. Apa itu STEM Education? Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Nah, dari sinilah yang konon katanya untuk kelas rendah itu mereka tidak bisa mengaplikasikan STEM Education dalam pembelajaran. Tetapi seperti apa yang sudah saya pelajari dan saya baca di jurnal-jurnal, bahwa di negara-negara lain STEM Education itu dipelajari dari mulai SD hingga mereka ke universitas. Pagi hari ini kita lihat ada LKS seperti ini, yang mana berisi langkah-langkah, dan juga kita sudah lihat tadi proses pembelajaran ketika mereka mendesain jembatan. Nah, kita namakan aktivitas pagi ini dengan stronger bridge atau jembatan mana yang lebih kuat. Nah, challenge-nya mereka, tantangannya adalah setiap kelompok mendesain sedotan mana yang lebih kuat untuk menopang. Kita pura-puranya menopang kelereng. Kelereng di situ ini yang akan ditopang seperti yang kita lihat tadi prosesnya. Nah, seperti ini, berapa kelereng yang mampu ditopang, lalu desainnya seperti apa. Nah, di mana kita belajar IPA-nya, tentu saja dari desain ini, IPA-nya adalah tekanan, kemudian permukaan, luas permukaan, dan juga tekanan. Nah, itu mereka belajar tentang sains atau IPA. Matematikanya ketika mereka menghitung, karena setiap kelompok hanya dibatasi 30 sedotan. Kelompok itu memanfaatkan berapa sedotan. Ada yang tadi hanya memanfaatkan seperti ini, hanya sekitar 15 sedotan. Ada yang dimaksimalkan 30 sedotan digunakan semua. Nah, desainnya seperti apa itu terserah mereka, kreativitas mereka, inovasi mereka, desain jembatannya. Ada yang seperti ini, kita lihat alasnya. Nah, kemudian ada yang seperti ini, ada yang juga mereka membentuknya mengerucut seperti ini, karena justru menurut mereka ini adalah tumpuannya ada di sini. Setiap siswa atau setiap kelompok memiliki argumentasi sendiri-sendiri, dan setelah itu mereka mengisi LKS seperti ini. Nah, seringkali orang atau kita shock dengan soal HOTS atau High Order Thinking Skill, tapi dalam proses pembelajarannya banyak guru yang belum menerapkan pembelajaran yang berbasis HOTS. Nah, sebenarnya di sini sekaligus anak-anak kelas 2 itu sedang berpikir mengapa, bagaimana. Ketika mereka tadi mendesain ini, mengapa ini mereka harus menggunakan sedotannya secara maksimal atau keseluruhan, mengapa yang disolasi ini, mengapa di pinggir-pinggirnya didesain seperti ini. Terus mereka menemukan kenapa di kelompok lain jembatannya lebih kuat dan lebih banyak menopang kelereng. Disitulah mereka mencari tahu sendiri di mana kelebihan dan kekurangannya. Kemudian mereka meredesain. Jadi redesain disitulah mereka sebenarnya sedang menjadi seorang engineer atau engineeringnya dari STEM itu sendiri. Nah, kemudian untuk teknologinya itu mereka bisa mengaplikasikannya seperti tadi di awal pembelajaran di kelas 2 saya menjelaskan tentang problem solving dalam kehidupan sehari-hari. Jadi mereka kita tunjukkan beberapa video yang tadi di dalam berita CNN, video beberapa daerah wilayah khusus di Yogyakarta yang tidak memiliki jembatan akses terutama untuk anak-anak yang berangkat sekolah, sehingga bagaimana mereka mendesain sebuah jembatan yang lebih kuat untuk bisa dilewati baik itu kendaraan ataupun orang agar lebih aman. Nah, dari situlah mereka dihadapkan kepada sebuah permasalahan dan mereka menyelesaikannya atau problem solvingnya. Mereka mendesain sebuah jembatan yang kali ini mereka mendesainnya dari sedotan. Kalau mungkin tahun lalu dari koran. Nah, untuk yang kelas 5 kemarin kita sudah praktek menggunakan koran. Nah, untuk yang kelas 2 ini kita praktek menggunakan rangkaian dari sedotan dan juga selotip. Nah, cukup mudah bukan? Bahannya cukup murah, mudah ditemukan dan mudah dirangkai, hanya menggunakan sedotan bekas, memanfaatkan sampah plastik dan juga mengurangi sampah plastik. Seru kan kalau kita lihat teman-teman yang tadi sudah praktek, mereka saling bekerja sama, antusias sekali, dan guru di sini memang hanya sebagai fasilitator. Nah, selamat mencoba ya. Kita terus belajar tentang sains, teknologi, engineering, matematik, atau STEM education. Nah, disitulah kita akan membuat siswa lebih kreatif dan ini berbasis project based learning. Nah, selamat belajar dan selamat mencoba. Sampai ketemu lagi dengan SDN Desa Sleman, Yogyakarta.
Manusia kuat, itu kita. Jiwa-jiwa yang kuat, itu kita. Manusia kuat, itu kita. Jiwa-jiwa yang kuat, itu kita. Bila bukan kehendaknya, tidak satu pun curasmu akan bawa bahaya. Manusia-manusia kuat, itu kita. Jiwa-jiwa yang kuat, itu kita. Manusia-manusia kuat, itu kita. Jiwa-jiwa yang kuat, itu kita. Manusia-manusia kuat, itu kita. Jiwa-jiwa yang kuat, itu kita.
Saya Linda, saya senang sekali belajar membuat jembatan dari sedotan karena menyusun jembatan menggunakan sedotan lalu dibelas plastik dimasukkan ke lereng dan ditumpukkan ke jembatan. Karena sudah membuat kapal jembatan dari sedotan.
Kita bisa
bisa belajar sama bermain sambil bermain. Seru sekali. Saya senang sekali karena membuat sedotan untuk kan sebenarnya saya itu seru, bisa menampung sedotan,
menampung ke lereng.
Dengan banyak. Kita berlomba menyusun sedotan, siapa yang bisa mendapat lereng paling banyak itu dia pemenangnya.
Manusia-manusia kuat, itu kita. Jiwa-jiwa yang kuat,
Oke, stop please.
Manusia kuat, itu
share screen my PPT. Yeah. The next slide. Why PGPL or why PBL? Yeah. PBL have two characteristic. If our student learn with PBL, our student do discovery or inquiry learning and project based and learning achievement based attitude, knowledge and skill developed with PGPL because in this description era, the skill is needed in the current era. Next, like creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. Next, theoretical review, PGPL from inquiry learning and discovery, then PBL atau problem based learning, then PGBL or PBL. And with PBL, our student be active learners. Okay, from theoretical review from PBL. Next. Yeah. What is PBL? First, work, problem, and contextual. Student produce work based on contextual problem solving. Based Permendikbud 22 2060. Ya. Jadi PBL ini dilandasi oleh peraturan atau standar proses yang ditetapkan oleh pemerintah. And next, active student. Ya. If our student learn with PBL, student if doing project and long time. Ya. Student active complete a project in a relative long time. On harus sit inquiry work question. Student carry out inquiry activities and create work based on a question or problem. And scientific work, student engage in activities as those carried out by scientists. What is PBL? Next. Yeah, PBL have 8 characteristic. Yeah. First, next. Yeah. Giving question. If teacher use PBL model, first stage, teacher question to student. Yeah. Maybe, for example, this question, what the product, ya, apa produk yang dapat dihasilkan to solve rubbish problem atau untuk mengatasi permasalahan sampah. Ya. The first step from PBL, giving question. Set the stake and motivation for student research and culminating projects. Giving question, how can we create a museum? Ini, for example, how can we create a museum that educate children and adults of all age about world biomes? Okay, next. Second characteristic of PBL is inquiry learning. Inquiry learning, identify problem, analyze of problem, field study and investigation, identify resources and research, test solution and present solution. Second characteristic PBL is inquiry learning. Next. PBL, standard science teaching. LH high order thinking, orient student to subject area content, engine student in discipline practice, support student to build personal connection to the work, support student to make a contribution on the board, interactive collaboration. PBL, same standard same teachings. Next. PBL takes a long time because our student must produce product, need long time to produce this product. Next. Another characteristic of PBL is collaborative learning. Collaborative learning, what do students learn when they engage in collaborative projects? Use system thinking, communication, empowerment, makes mindset, empathy, passion for learning, inquiry, adaptive thinking dan interactive thinking, critical thinking. Okay, next. Next. Another characteristic of PBL as cognitive tools. Cognitive tools like word processes, communication software, database, spreadsheet, feedback. Word processor may be used to facilitate writing tasks such as journal keeping, outlining, and editorial activities. Can facilitate peer review, group, and other scholarly dialogue. Database may be used to facilitate hypothesis testing. Spreadsheet can assist with the formulation and testing of what-if scenario. PBL as cognitive tools. Next. Another characteristic of PBL, student produce a product, like report or manuscript or pamphlet or electronic tool or video and others. Next. In PBL, student develop communication skill like interpersonal communication, leader storytelling, nonverbal communication, listening skill, comprehension and synthesis, communication counseling, and affirmation skill. Okay, next. Result, if our student learn use PBL, result from PBL is inquiry skill or scientific processes skill, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity, and concept strengthening. Next. If you as teacher use PBL model, stage 1 preparation. Preparation is exploration problem or motivation question. Strengths, knowledge and skill designing and problem solution. And next stage, implementation, problem solving processes, student produce product and report of research and expose, product presentation and product revise it. Next. Evaluation, process knowledge, skill and attitude, product knowledge and attitude, expose knowledge, skill and attitude. If our student learn with PBL's model, teacher can evaluate process based, product based, and expose based. Jadi ketika siswa itu mengikuti proses pembelajarannya atau produknya bisa dievaluasi dan ketika mempresentasikan apa yang dievaluasi ketiganya. Oke, next. Ya, sample topic and question. Ya, geografi brosur. How to promote our village. Ya, atau measurement, topic measurement. How do you make it? Ya. And subtension. How do you make use good around us? Ya. Solution. How to get clean water. Yeah, it is sample topic and question. If you use PBL in your learning. Next, step or plan PBL learning. First, determining the fundamental question, drawing up a project plan, create schedule, monitoring the activities, testing the result, and evaluate the experience. Sixth step, if teacher use a PBL model. Next. Yeah, the local wisdom. Yeah. Before we discuss about local wisdom, any participant can give one sample local wisdom from your area. Yeah, you can open mic or write in kolom chat. Ya. Jadi apa kearifan lokal yang ada di daerah Anda gitu ya. Please answer my question. Okay.
Could you please mention some examples of local wisdom? Belum ada yang menjawab, Pak Win.
Okay. Maybe from Miss Dani area. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Yeah. Hey, sorry back. Yeah. Local wisdom is central values obtained through experience in the environment in an area are useful for guiding human behaviors in ecological community life and can be used as character-based education embedded in local content. Next. Yeah, this is example from local wisdom, traditional ceremony, cultural heritage, nature tourism, tradition transportation, traditional game, cultural infrastructures, art, cultural village, art and craft, folklore, children play, and puppets. Yeah. Scope of local wisdom. Next. Yeah. If you use local wisdom approach on your class, yeah, model for implementing local wisdom in this learning process. First model, completing model, the implementation of local wisdom is added to exciting circular education program and curriculum structure. Two model, integrated model, the implementation of local wisdom is embedded and integrated in circular program and learning processes. And three model, separate model. The implementation of local wisdom is separate and removed from the circular program. Next. I give you one sample. If you use PBL context local wisdom on your class. First time, introduction or pendahuluan. Ya. Nah, teacher greeting and prayer, checking absent and simulation. For example, display video picture bird pets ya. Jadi hama burung ya, hama burung di sawah ya. In our farmer ya. And then teacher say learning objective. After carrying our project, student can produce product to solve to how get rid of bird pets problem. Ya, jadi bagaimana menyelesaikan permasalahan hama burung di untuk petani kita. Biasanya mendekati musim panen tuh banyak. Ya. Main activities in preparation stage, student in group give question how to get rid of bird pets. Bagaimana menyelesaikan ya masalah hama burung. And second question, how to create an effective tools to repel rice bird. Bagaimana menghasilkan alat untuk mengusir hama burung. Ya. Nah ini gambar this picture. This picture tools ya, tools local wisdom our farmer ya. Jadi alat ini sudah menjadi sebuah kearifan lokal. Alat ini sudah bisa dibuat oleh tani kita. Nah, ini fine idea. Ya. Okay. And next step, student planning project and implementation. Student test the product and prepare the report. Yeah. Okay, next. Yeah. Explore. Student present the result of product trials. Evaluate product advantages and disadvantages. Yeah. And last, learning or closing. Teacher exploring local wisdom aspect of bird repellent device that have been around for a long time. And teacher with student discuss the concept of pets originating from animal groups. Okay, next. Matur nuwun, thank you. Thanks. Is your Mrs. Dani.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Dr. Win. That was really a nice presentation about PBL, yeah, project-based learning with local wisdom of Javanese people to improve the students' HOTS or high order thinking skills. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now let's continue to question and answer session. There have been some questions coming from the audiences or participants, but we are still waiting more. You can raise your hand by clicking the hand sign button if you like to deliver question directly, or you can write down your or type your questions on the chat box for Zoom or and YouTube. Please mention or type for whom your question is, for Dr. Daryl or for Dr. Win or both of them. Okay, let's start with the first question. The first question coming from Arianti.
Ini ada yang raise hand.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Lukman. Lukman.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Ibu Moderator. My question is, goes to Ibu Daryl Kim I believe you're from the Philippines, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Good morning.
Yes, so magandang umaga, madam.
Magandang umaga, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. It is very interesting, yeah, about the topic on what we call local wisdom. Indonesia has a lot of local wisdoms, as we have 200 up to 280,000 million, 280 million people in Indonesia, and we have about 115 local languages, including their cultures. I believe Philippines also has a lot of cultures and local language. Although
Yes,
you use Tagalog, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
went to Philippines, Dr. Daryl, to what we call to somewhere in Los in the northern part of the Philippines. Yeah, I forget the university at the time. Well, my question is, I know that from the presentation we should find first the topic for what we call local wisdom, right? As the point to start teaching, and then after that we expand the techniques for presenting the local wisdom. Yes, it is good, and in the next step, we also brings the local wisdoms and the technique into what we call as a higher order of thinking or pemikiran kelas tinggi lah. Okay, well, not only what we call surface knowledge questions like what, where, who, but we will come to how and why and something like that. This is not easy. My question is, Madam Daryl, that is what we call how we fit the concept of the higher order thinking with the level of education. I mean that from sekolah dasar or elementary school, junior high school or SMP, and higher school or high school or SMA or even university students. This is very interesting because when we teach, for example, local wisdom like what we call kebaya, I mean Indonesian unique skirt, we call it kebaya, something like what we call kimono in Japan. We can start from that, from such local wisdom, something like is it traditional still lasting up to now, something like that, and so on and so on, according to your presentation. Well, thank you very much, Ibu Daryl. I think that is how we fit our higher order of thinking into level of education, because sometimes we teach elementary school students using higher order of thinking question, but this is too high for them, right? Something this is how we avoid such condition. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, sir, for your question. So, if I understand it correctly, sir, you are asking if how are we going to integrate higher order thinking skills to our students, such as elementary students, step by step? Is that okay? Thank you very much, sir, for your question. You have mentioned earlier, sir, that we should have to understand first we should have to understand or select first topic in terms of developing the wisdom base or local wisdom base to our students. Now, if you are going to understand on the Bloom's taxonomy, we have this so-called it starts from analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Now, it falls under the step-by-step process wherein we are going to do it step by step, not like for example, if we are going to integrate it with elementary, we understood that elementary graders or students are not yet capable in terms of understanding a complex situation. So if I may advise, sir, that you should have to make it step by step to be able for them to grasp the information and slowly introducing them the local wisdom base through project-based learning, because there are some instances that inside the classroom, we are really pushing our students to understand a certain topic or a certain task that is not really capable in their like for example, if they are still elementary, or if they are not yet capable in understanding a certain situation, we should have always consider that we teachers are facilitators inside the classroom. If we are going to define facilitating or facilitator, facilitating is to make something easier. So we as a teacher, we should have to facilitate a certain class, and we should have to assist our students inside the classroom to achieve a certain task or a certain knowledge. We as a teacher, it's our responsibility to understand or to introduce knowledge that they can capably think, or that they are capable to understand a certain situation. Because there are instances that we almost forget our responsibility to our teachers. Like for example, if we are already doctors or graduate of master's degree, we are not considering the capability of our students inside the classroom. We are implementing a certain task, a certain activities, a certain project that is not really capable in their ages. So for me, we should always consider the capability of our students inside the classroom, but do not, without compromising the development of higher order thinking skills to our students.
Yes, thank you very much, Daryl. Yeah, I've been to Central Luzon State University twice there.
Okay, sir. So Central.
It's very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Lukman, does that answer your question?
Yes, Ibu Daniel, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Sir Lukman, Dr. Rico here from PRMSU.
Yes.
Our place is very near from Central Luzon State University. With the
Yeah, I'm from Jakarta, from
expressway.
UHAMKA University.
Yes, you can reach our place 3 hours by car. So we
Yeah.
invite you to visit one time in the Philippines. Please include
Yes, yes.
PRMSU in your itinerary.
I have one story, Miss Daryl, from the Philippines. When I'm a guest, I'm a guest at the time there, and all the committee of the Central Luzon State University served me very nice, and they saw me some cakes. This is kuchinta. Oh, kuchinta is the name of cake in the Philippines, while Indonesia means I love you, love you. So very interesting. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat, Daryl.
Because we are in the one family language, sir. We belongs to one family of language, Austronesian,
Yes,
Malayo-Polynesian.
Yes,
So
yes.
or there are words, or there are terminologies that is really common in Indonesia and in the Philippines.
Many words also have the same meaning with Indonesia.
Yeah.
Many, I forget it. Thank you very much, Ms. Daryl.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lukman, for your question, your great question. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to the second question coming from Ms. Nafa. Oh, sorry, before that, the second question from Ms. Arianti from Indonesia. She would like to ask about the strategy in project-based learning to enhance the students. She did not mention for whom the question is for, Ms. Arianti, or for both the speakers. I would like to invite Dr. Daryl first to answer the question. Could you please, Dr. Daryl?
Sure, ma'am, sure.
The strategy in project-based learning. The first question.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. Okay, I cannot. Have you already flashed the question, ma'am?
Would you like to share any slide?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Daryl.
Okay. The first question would, okay. I would like to ask about the strategy in base learning to enhance students. What?
It might be project-based learning.
Okay, project-based learning. Okay, if you're going to ask me about the strategy in project-based to enhance students, let us select a project or let us select an activity of the students that they can be more engaged in terms of analyzation or understanding a certain concept rather than asking question or giving them activities that can only develop the shallow perspective of their ideas. Like for example, the question that I have mentioned to you earlier or flashed earlier, that we are not after the remembering, we are not after the bottom of the Bloom's taxonomy, but rather you should have to involve them in terms of understanding a certain situation. So by means of that, we can immediately enhance the higher order thinking skills of our students by means of project-based learning.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Daryl. Ms. Arianti. Yes, so it means we have to, what is that? Strengthen the order thinking skills or HOTS first.
Can I also answer the second question, ma'am? Before we...
I see. The second question coming from
The question is, how can assessment method be tailored to measure the growth of higher order thinking skills in students engaged in project-based learning with local wisdom component? Let us always remember that if we are going to enhance the higher order thinking skills of our students, we are not after the objective types of activities or objective type of quizzes, rather than we went on the performance task of every students inside the classroom, meaning subjectivity over objectivity. Sometimes we should have to be subjected. Like for example, if we are always giving objective activities to our students, such as like for example quizzes and activities, we are producing low performance students because they are just going to remember what are the things that you have said inside the classroom, rather than implementing performance tasks. The level of retention is higher than the activities that they are not involved. Like for example, if you are familiar with the line of Confucius such as tell me and I forget, show me and I remember, but involve me and I will learn. Those are best examples of assessment or authentic assessment. Like for example, the statement tell me and I forget, that is an authentic assessment. When we say an authentic assessment, lower order thinking skills. If we are just teaching our students inside the classroom by our bare voices, like for example, like the things that I am doing right now, if we are just discussing them and not showing anything, then that is an authentic assessment. But show me and I will remember, if we teachers are using instructional materials inside the classroom, such as like, for example, handout, PowerPoint presentation, pictures, then that is somewhat authentic. The level of retention of somewhat authentic is more rich than an authentic assessment. But if we are going to involve our students in learning, that is authentic assessment. The level of retention is very high. Let us always remember that if we are going to involve our students inside the classroom, if they are the one who are going to understand a certain situation, then the level of retention is very high. Now, based on the question, if I may suggest, higher order thinking skills cannot be measured by simple check or X in terms of examination, but we should utilize rubrics or criteria to assess a certain performance task, because I believe developing HOTS is not about objectivity, but it's about the performance of the students inside the classroom.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Daryl, for your answers. How about Dr. Win? Would you like to
Okay.
add something or answer both questions?
Yes. First question from Arianti. What differences? Yeah, but what differences PBL and another model? The first characteristic or first strategies PBL use project. If problem-based learning, a student not produce a product, but in PJBL, a student produce a product, and PGBL question. Jadi untuk apa namanya dibantu dan jadi untuk pertanyaan mendasar dengan PBL karakteristiknya adalah harus kontekstual dengan kehidupan sehari-hari. Jadi pertanyaannya harus tidak konseptual, tidak konseptual. Apa itu getaran, apa itu misalkan sistem pernapasan, tidak, tapi apa masalah yang ada di lingkungan sekitar, gitu.
So the basic questions coming from our environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough,
in bahasa Indonesia, Pak Win, because
they
jadi also
yang membedakan strategi PBL project based learning dengan model yang lain, yaitu student menghasilkan produk, siswa menghasilkan produk, harus ada produk yang dibuat gitu. Itu tidak ditemukan di model yang lain. Kemudian pertanyaan mendasar itu bukan berkaitan dengan materi, bukan, tetapi apa masalah yang ada di lingkungan sekitar. Ya, misalkan di Kali Jurang ada masalah overload sampah, itu apa permasalahan untuk menyelesaikan polusi sampah, apa produk yang bisa dihasilkan dari sampah. Itu yang membedakan, atau strategi dalam menerapkan PBL. Model-model yang lain tidak ada.
Okay. So the main characteristic of PBL is the problem solving, coming from the environment, and it produces project. So it's different from any other model. That's Mbak Ayanti's question. And then how about number 2, Pak Win? The second question is coming from Miss Nafa.
Okay. Indonesia.
Yeah, it's okay because she's Indonesian student.
Jadi jadi cara menilai bagaimana pencapaian high order thinking siswa kita dapat dilihat dari 3, dari prosesnya, bagaimana dia menghasilkan idenya, kemudian tidak kalah pun juga produknya, karena high order salah satunya adalah kreasi. Produk hasilkan itu berbeda dengan lain atau ada kebaruan, itu mengindikasikan bahwa oh siswa kita sudah berkembang. Tapi kalau produk yang dihasilkan ada di pasaran atau ada di internet dan sebagainya, itu mengindikasikan ya sudah berkembang namun tidak sangat baik gitu. Itu Bu Dani. Jadi penilaian dalam PBL itu bisa dilihat dari bagaimana siswa kita menghasilkan ide, kemudian bagaimana produk yang dihasilkan, kolaborasinya 3 yang bisa dievaluasi.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Win. And then we'll continue to the third question. But before that, I've got a question coming from Mr. Urip. Hold on. I will read it for you. The question is, of all the local wisdom that exists around, are there any provisions or criteria regarding local wisdom that can be used as a medium or means for strengthening high-level thinking skills through project-based learning, or can we use all local wisdom to implement? Apa namanya? Kearifan lokal yang seperti apa gitu.
Apa ya? Ya, jadi tentu kalau kepentingan pembelajaran kearifan lokal yang berkaitan dengan kompetensi yang harus dipelajari siswa atau mata pelajarannya. Misalkan di di Patuguran tuh di Brebes itu ada waduk ya, waduk Patuguran itu dikatakan kearifan lokal karena kearifan lokal itu ada berupa tempat, berupa infrastruktur, berupa bahasa, berupa pengetahuan. Jadi semuanya bisa memungkinkan asal sesuai dengan tujuan pembelajaran. Gitu Bu ya, disesuaikan dengan analisis KD-nya.
Okay, how about you, Dr. Daryl? That's a question related to what kind of local wisdom or all local wisdom can be implemented as project-based learning.
Okay. Here in the Philippines, we have so-called localization wherein we can integrate or we can use a certain language or first language of learners inside the classroom. Like for example, in grades 1 to 3, the medium of instruction there is the language that they understood best. So here in the Philippines, we have existing policy in Department of Education that we have to integrate local language to help the students in terms of analyzing a certain situation. So by means of using language that they are really in line or that they are really understood. So it can be a measure or it can be a way or strategy for us to develop a certain higher order thinking skills to our students. So by means of using our local languages, and it's part of the local wisdom wherein we are preserving our culture, especially language, but most importantly, it helps to develop the higher order thinking skills of our students inside the classroom.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Daryl. Yeah, what a great answers. Sorry, the operator, could you please go back to previous slide? Our third and fourth questions. Pak Sigit, bisa ditampilkan slide sebelumnya? Okay. Okay, and then next question, still coming from Miss Nafa. PBL is an instructional approach that emphasizes active. So what's the question? Oh, I see, sorry. This is the answer of Mr. Dr. Win's question, yeah? Number 4. Oh, I see. Number 4 is not an answer either, yeah? It's an answer, not a question either.
Of PBL now.
Yes. And then next slide, the question number 6 here. Oh, it's also
Yeah.
the answer. Okay. So there's no more question. How can, hold on, from Amelia, Miss Amelia, how can an approach that involves local wisdom in PBL address complex cultural and social differences while enhancing high order thinking skills of HOTS in students, and what are the potential social and cultural implication in this approach? Yeah, it might be delivered for both speakers. Dr. Daryl, you can answer first, please. Would you please?
Thank you very much for your question. I understood that if we are going to implement local wisdom base, we can compromise some of our beliefs of cultural beliefs such as language and traditions. So if I may suggest, we should have to understand first the culture of others before we argue on a certain implementation of local wisdom base, because there are instances that they have integrated local wisdom base and it's not accepted by the society. And then there are instances they are questioning those kind of local wisdom base. Like for example, the thing that I have mentioned earlier in Pandawa Beach, that they are not allowed, or there are some places there that they are not allowed to or demonstrating women are not allowed to swim there because it's a sacred place. So if I may suggest that we should have to understand the culture of a certain places or a certain group, so that we can understand the way of their living, so that we can implement it in terms of developing higher order thinking skills.
Okay, so it means we need such a preliminary observation first, Dr. Daryl. Yeah, okay,
Yes,
to decide which kind of local wisdom. Okay, thank you, Dr. Daryl, for your answer. And then Dr. Win, could you please answer, or would you like to add, menambahkan beberapa?
Kunci dari local wisdom yang digunakan dalam pembelajaran itu sesuai dengan kurikulum yang sedang dipelajari begitu. Misalkan mengajari materi tentang sifat ya atau larutan, itu dikaitkan dengan proses pembuatan jamu atau batik, itu kan dari dari kearifan lokal yang ada di sekitar. Membuat jamu, membuat tempe, membuat batik itu di Jawa Tengah khususnya itu sudah sangat-sangat familiar, karena salah satu keunggulan dari kearifan lokal itu mengkonkretkan ya atau mengkoneksikan ya apa yang dipelajari di kelas dengan di di lingkungan gitu. Itu Bu Dani. Jadi guru harus bisa menganalisis potensi atau kearifan lokal apa yang paling potensial yang ada di sekitar. Bila perlu kalau memang ada di tingkat desa ya berarti ambil yang tingkat desa. Kalau di tingkat desa nggak ada berarti tingkat kecamatan dan sampai ke atas. Itu kunci dari kearifan lokal yang bisa dan harus problem ya. Harus ada problemnya, misal menyajikan solusi pembuatan batik gitu. Nah, maka bagaimana sih alat untuk membuat batik agar tidak terjadi polusi, yaitu PJBM.
Okay, so first consideration that it must be matching, yeah, with the what we call the learning outcome of a certain course, and then it should be problem based, yeah. So it suits the local wisdom should suit the objective of the learning. Is that right, Pak Win? Yeah. It can be in not village, village level. The problem based can be on village level and then sub district, yeah, or higher, even higher.
Higher, yes.
Okay. Well, those are all our questions, but I would like to invite again, if you have any question from YouTube or Zoom, you can click, you can raise your hand, yeah, directly. Oh, next question coming from, oh, sorry. Your second question has not been answered yet. Pak Sigit, sorry, Mr. Operator, could you please display the second question coming from Miss Nafa? Hold on. The second question. What are the challenges? Is that right, Miss Nafa?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the challenges that educators might face when implementing local wisdom-based? Or Dr. Daryl, could you please share your experience, yeah, while conducting your own research by about fishing? Is that right?
Yes, it's about fishing. So if I may answer the question of Ma'am Askia, of course, implementing local wisdom-based project learning is an educational context can be rewarding and endeavor. But of course, there are also times we share same challenges. Like for example, I observe while doing local wisdom based, like the thing that Mama Danny mentioned a while back, I encountered cultural sensitivity and appropriateness, of course, like what I've stated earlier, that we should have to consider the culture in terms of implementing this. The resources, of course, one of the consideration. The third one is, if we are going to relate it in a classroom, student involvement or student engagement can be a challenge to implement project-based by local wisdom-based. And the assessment and evaluation can be part of this. The teacher professionalism development, if we are not capable enough to implement a certain project that is local based. So it's a challenge for us. Time constraints, the community involvement, of course, and the very important is the sustainability. If a project or if projects cannot be sustained or not sustainable, it's a big challenge to us as implementer of this. So that for us educator, we should be prepared to adapt and iterate their approach to address these challenges and create a successful local wisdom-based project learning environment that enhances students' understanding of local and foster higher order thinking skills.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Daryl. Ms. Nafa, does that answer your question anyway? Dr. Win, would you like to add? Mau menambahkan tentang challenges. Tantangannya apa nih Pak Win? Yang dihadapi oleh para pendidik ya ketika mengimplementasikan local wisdom based project based learning.
Ya, oke. Jadi kalau jurusan ilmu IPA, kemudian ilmu fisika atau kesehatan dan lain sebagainya itu cenderung cenderung banyak kesempatan bisa diimplementasikan. Tetapi kalau jurusan yang lain, karena salah satu karakteristik dari PBL ini adalah produk ya, maka misalkan bahasa Inggris nih, apa ya kearifan lokal yang digunakan untuk melaksanakan pembelajaran berbasis PBL ya, maka itu tantangannya. Tetapi perlu dipelajari dari jurnal atau penelitian yang lain karena saya tidak bisa memberikan contoh selain dari ilmu sains yang saya tekuni gitu Bu. Jadi kemungkinan pasti ada banyak.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Win. Well, ladies and gentlemen, is there still any question related to PBL with local wisdom to strengthen HOTS? From YouTube? May I know, Dr. Daryl, for how long did you conduct that kind of research there?
In collecting or gathering the data, ma'am, that I have used in my research, almost 3 months. But prior to that, I have pre-activities such as finding the place that I will live in, the participants. So all in all, I conducted that research 1 year, almost 1 year, because the 3 months there is immersion or collection of or collecting data such as the terminologies that they are using in terms of fishing. So all in all, 1 year, almost 1 year, the 3 months there is gathering the information that I would be needing in the research.
So it also depends on what local wisdom, right?
Yeah.
And the methods used here to collect the data, to analyze the data. Okay. Well,
one of the biggest challenges that I have experienced there, of course, is to understand the culture and their language, because I am not familiar and I am alien on that place or in that place, because it's an island. It's an island, 45 to 1 hour from the place or the municipality, and you are going to ride in a boat for 45 to 1 hour to reach the place.
Okay. So you have different culture, with the subject of the research. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Dr. Daryl, for your information. And we are going to, the material which you please to share with the committee later, because many participants asked about that. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks, Mr. Win, Dr. Win, for your great answers too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we come to the end, I would like to read for you the conclusion, the simple conclusion for our great lecture today, that HOTS or high order thinking skills are very important for university students, which covers adaptive, critical thinking, critical in thinking, and then creative, innovative, communicative, collaborative, and confident. We as lecturers or educators can strengthen HOTS through PBL, project-based learning, with local wisdom-based. Both speakers have mentioned the considerations, the strategies, the challenge, etc. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite our lovely Dean, the Honorable Mrs. Eka Farida Fasya, SSE MPD, as the Dean of Teacher and Education Faculty of Peradaban University, to give our both great speakers today, Dr. Daryl Jim R. Angel and Dr. Winarto, our highest appreciation, which is in the form of certificate. Well, Bu Eka, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
They're the speaker of this event, and also Mr. and Mrs. from President Ramon Magsaysay State University, as well as from Peradaban University. We say thank you very much to the representative of President Ramon Magsaysay State University, who have presented the material at this event. We ensure that what have been conveyed are useful for all of us in carrying out this learning. On this occasion, I will give the certificate to the two presenters this afternoon. The first to Dr. Daryl Jimmy Angel.
Thank you very much.
Please receive the certificate.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. And the second to Dr. Winarto. Please receive the certificate. Mr. Winarto.
Thank you very much, Matur Nuwun.
Oke, terima kasih. That's all I can deliver. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the end of this guest lecture event. And now I would like to give it back to Mr. Hollis as our Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Daryl and Dr. Winarto. I really hope that all teachers, lecturers, and educators can implement, this kind of PBL, with local wisdom to strengthen HOTS or high order thinking skills of our students. Okay, Mr. Hollis, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Dani. Ladies and gentlemen, finally we got to the last session of this event. I, as a MC, say thank you very much to Dr. Daryl and Dr. Winarto for the speech. I am sure that the knowledge has been shared will be very useful for us. And also the parties that involved in this event. We also hope that this is only the beginning of our cooperation between Universitas Peradaban and PRMSU or President Ramon Magsaysay State University. We hope another event that collaborate with PRMSU will be held in other steps. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that I can deliver. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can we take a picture together, Mr. Hollis? Can we take a picture? Maybe the student, please open the camera. Can we take a picture?
Mr. Sigit?
Mr. Sigit, maybe you can help us. Please, student, to open the camera, please.
Yes. Oh, gitu.
Ya, mungkin Pak Sigit bisa memandu, silakan Pak Sigit. Bisa dihitung 1, 2, 3 baru.
Baik, untuk dokumentasi foto kami hitung untuk semuanya. Please on camera. 1, 2, 3. Once again. Okay, once again, ready, 1, 2, and 3.
Tidak di spotlight, semua biar masuk.
Sorry, one more.
Is it done? Sudah selesai, Pak. Next slide.
Okay, enough. Cukup. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
very
Ma'am Fe. Thank you, Ma'am Zen.
Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Dr. Daryl. Nice to see you, Mom Faye.